with our real quick recap of last game as we picked up in the constructed mindscape built for you by your ally Bastille, a frozen wasteland in the midst of a tumultuous and terrible blizzard. You found yourselves out front of a massive stronghold that was identified as Caer Ithrin and led by a knight in shining golden armor and wielding a glaive that threw golden flames out from it and fought like a dragon. It might have been a dragon. In fact,
No.
after you guys killed some zombies, a champion of Tiamat, scared off a couple of frost giants, and then beat up the last one, did know he was a dragon. Pretty much assumed the whole way. Zanar and Nock led you up to the top peak of the central spire of Caer Ithrin, where the great white worm Colinde had just ascended. And as you recreated the climactic battle between Colinde and Zanar Enoch, you guys were victorious. Zanar Enoch still fell, as was destiny, but you were able to defeat Colinde in this constructed mindscape built upon their two souls and around Rose, who served as a central anchor point for the three, having attuned themselves to two very, very conflicting forces. As you stood in that aftermath of the battlefield, it all shifted and the Golden Knight once again reappeared. His demeanor had changed, and he explained to you that what had happened in this recreation was not what had happened before. He showed you the bodies of the noble warriors of Bahamut that had accompanied him on this endeavor. He showed you his own dying form as it begged his father for one last mercy, one chance to keep fighting in his name. And in that moment, a boon from a god, as his son died and was reborn as a blade. A blizzard began. The tower started to become covered and buried in snow and ice, and eventually you saw a small group of knights and paladins arrive, dig out the blade of Zanar Enoch, and wield it in the war of the gods. And as you were then returned to the morning wood here within Sarnau, you found that your ally, Bastille, had fallen into an unwakeable slumber. His son, Thorn, had not left his side in the 2 to 3 hours that you all had been in your meditative state. And when you came back, you definitely looked a little worse for the wear, as all of the damage you had withstood within the mindscape reflected back onto you in this reality. You all helped carry Bastille back to his home and set him into his bed to rest comfortably, and then opted to open up the door to Namir's mansion and return to not your first home, but probably the safest and most comfortable one you have ever known. And one that for Ken and Aerith had unfortunately been lost when Rose left the party. Rose didn't accompany you in, though. They and Oni stayed out in the manor. Well, not even a manor. Let's call it a estate, small estate.
Bastille's humble home.
Yeah, it's bigger than a humble home, but it's not like castle. It's kind of just like a fancy house. Oni was given a guest room next to Bastille's room, and Rose and Thorn kind of posted up next to Bastille's bed in his chamber. Takashi, Aerith, and Ken stepped back into the magnificent mansion and returned to the made versions of yourselves that took your armor for cleaning and repairs, made you food. You checked your rooms and found that Nothing had changed. Not with the rooms, at least. Some things had changed. A painting, prominent at the very entrance into the manor of the 5 original wanderers of Starlight. Aerith, Ken, Eidos, Aureus, and Rose. And as you all turned in for your long rest, well-deserved, in the hopes that Bastille would awaken in the morning and that you could return to the war front and await the return of the scouts, which should be returning not this day that you're about to wake up on, but the day after. They had 2 days out until they were expected back. And whatever else may occur. So, as we pick up tonight's game, I'm going to start with you, Aerith.
Oh boy.
Haha.
What did you do?
Get him.
As you kind of find yourself comfortable within your room here within the Magnificent Manor, you kind of like run your hands along the various silks and fineries of the bedchamber here, and it's only been a month, 6 weeks maybe, but it feels like it's been a year since you were in here. Kind of find your comfortable space, drift back into your meditation, and as you find your mind calming and expanding into that restorative state, you enter into a dream, and you find yourself back in a massive classroom. Endless seats kind of bow out in a half circle to your left and right, and you seem to be front and center, middle of the, lecture hall, just right there in the dead center. Can you make me a perception check?
Why?
That's a good question.
Yell out.
You at a disadvantage while you're asleep as well?
As you...
Oh, god damn it.
What'd you say, Rose?
Do you still have to do it at disadvantage even in dream state because you're exhausted?
No, you don't need to do that
Okay.
in dream state here. Okay.
Nice.
Yay. I'm doing
You
good,
kinda, like,
guys. First rule of the
Literally
night.
blink your eyes, and you look, and you could see the large, imposing form of Ogma, kind of in the distance, impossibly far away, but as large as any teacher or tutor would be, standing behind a desk with massive sheafs of parchment on it. He glows with this kind of ever-changing light, his long beard and tall hat kind of drooping out behind his back, and he looks up and goes, "Welcome back to the arcane classroom, Aerith. I've had a moment to look over your homework, and it is adequate. I do like the assessments you've made of yourself, the understanding of what you want from yourself and how to get there. I find myself, though, curious. We are, or you are as mortals, drawn between 2 different forms. Those that society expects of you, and those that you wish to be. I see that conflict here in your assignment. You had a upbringing of scholarly learning and the pursuit of knowledge for knowledge's sake, but that wasn't what you endeavored to do. What you wanted to do was make people happy, and that is a noble endeavor, to entertain, to use the things that you've learned to expand upon your... Kind of like weighs his hand in the air, looking for the right word. Frivolities. And then, when you found yourself challenged, you fell back upon the version of yourself that society expected, the one that your mother had set out for you, the path of the scholar. And it has been beneficial, your expanding of knowledge and understanding of the magical arts. there has been have been hiccups along the way, but you have seen and learned things and truths that people of your world have not known for generations. I feel that this conflict, this reward from society's expectation versus what you want from yourself, is the core of your turmoil. And it is one that I would like to help you overcome. You have spent time studying your allies, looking to incorporate your skills into theirs to work together. And it looks up at you. Have you not?
Yes.
Good. That is a good start. Finding ways to improve upon oneself is important, and looking at the ways that your allies improve themselves is a good way to think outside of any box that you may have set yourself up in. So, for today's assignment here within the Arcane Classroom, we are going to, let's call it a paragraph. One paragraph for, you have fought alongside so many. And he kind of like thumbs through a pile of parchments on his desk. Let's call it 5. 5 of your allies that you have met along the way. One paragraph for each of them as to how they bring their strengths to your team. And in that, I hope that you can see the missing pieces that need to be filled and how you and they all work in concert. From there, we will build a foundation that will help strengthen the bonds between you and your allies and make your dreams a reality. It will take work, but all noble efforts do. And he looks up at you again.
I just roll my eyes.
Now, that is not what I would expect from a scholar. The pursuit of knowledge should be enjoyable. Our guest here today seems to enjoy the pursuit of knowledge.
Guessed.
Roll me another perception check as you look around. The hall is huge, man. Like, incomprehensibly big.
Nicholas is just hiding in the corner.
He kind of like drops his head, and he motions one large hand off to your left. And as he does, like, the whole hall is pretty well lit. You've got lights down on your table that kind of illuminate the entire room in this gentle, warm light that isn't intrusive. It doesn't have that like flicker of school lights. It's just like almost like a constant candlelight that isn't flickering. And as he motions his hand out, there is another shape off to your left. Female, older. He kind of like illuminates the area a little bit more, and you see, let's see. Her skin is kind of like a deep tan. Her hair almost seems to shimmer a little bit as it's sitting there. She's half kind of slumped over and seems to be writing something on a parchment very slowly.
I'm like hard squinting, trying to figure out who she is.
Just yell at her, like, "Hey, you! What's
Get
your
on my
name?"
I just go,
Why are you in my brain?
Hello, welcome to my dream.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Another 7.
Shut
Gotta
up.
get
Triple
some
7,
lucky
let's
sevens. We gotta
go.
get lucky 7s.
Right?
Oh,
Hey, it was
Boo.
on the die.
I mean, he rolled a 7.
I
Sure.
guess, yeah.
she turns her head towards you, and it seems slow, tired, like someone who is trying to rouse themselves but is in a deep, deep sleep. And she kind of turns her face towards you. Her hair falls away just a little bit. She's got her eyes closed. She finishes scribbling on the paper and kind of drops her hand off to one side, and the paper flashes in a spark of light and appears in front of you. You turn
Magic most passing.
and you look at it, and it has one word written on it in Draconic. I'm gonna actually whisper it to you. So I think that'll be funnier.
Want to go out? Yes or no?
You said one word.
Written in one word.
Okay. Okay.
She kind of like sits
That's
back.
the balls on it.
Her head kind of goes back down, and she tilts it off to one side, and it's almost like she's trying to look through her hair, but her eyes just can't open. And Ogma twists his hands, and the light kind of fades. As I have said, you have seen things and learned things that your people have not known in an age. Now, your allies, who should we start with? And then we will fade to black, as that is your homework assignment for the next week. And feel free to reach out to me as Ogma to help you, because what these happen in the classroom, and then he grades them. But yeah, one paragraph, five of your allies. How do they bring their strengths to your team? How do they help? Kind of like analyze them. Think about it.
Judge them.
You're gonna have to
Meanwhile-
send me this.
Just do the same word repeated for all of them.
Just strong. Strong. All right, done.
Nobody just hide. 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 Hide.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna type this out for you. Choose 5.
I'm gonna bring out my list of stuff. Where is it? It's number 1.
Okay. Meanwhile, Rose, you and Thorn had posted yourselves up in comfortable chairs, probably like a love seat there within Bastile's bedchamber. Thorn really just didn't want to. He wanted to be there just in case. Had drifted off, kind of just leaning on each other. And as you find yourself in a familiar dream, the roles are somewhat flipped. You are walking through a beautiful, vibrant forest. And as you step out of the tree line and into the clearing in the center, you see a man sitting on the stump that you normally sit on.
Yeah, it's my stump.
His hair shimmers in golden light, and his eyes shine. He has a book in his left hand, and a pile of them next to the stump, and looks over at you, and you recognize him as the Golden Knight. Not wearing his armor, just wearing a normal, silken style tunic, multiple layers that kind of just flow down around him. And he closes the book gently and looks down at the pile. You have a multitude of stories in here, and the world has seen many things since I left it.
I'm sure they have. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
If your memories are correct, nearly 1400 years since I left, was taken into the Fae.
How did she get a hold of you?
How do many people end up in the Feywild? My former paladin was a half-giant by the name of Gorse. He was brave and noble, and found himself ensnared by the wiles of the Fairy Queen. Lured into her domain and twisted to her purpose. He took me from him. He gave me willingly. Kind of like stops and looks down at his hands. Looks up at you. But I have a new paladin now.
Paladin. That's more Thorn's area of expertise.
This is fair. He stands up and approaches you, and he stands probably about, like, Rose is what, 5'10"?
Um,
I think, like 5'9", 5'10", I think they're...
yeah, 5'9".
Stands like,
Everyone's taller than me now.
Because you're short.
you're
Damn
short.
it.
Nicholas is gone. Kind of like stands just like, just a little taller than you are, and walks up towards you. Yes, I can see that. You have the charisma and the force of character of one bound to greater purpose, but you seem to follow a different path, one I am not familiar with. The magics of you and your allies were just beginning to be reborn when I was taken. Kind of like looks at your arm, and here in this dream space, the damage that was done by Colinde is still there. However, the skin doesn't look pockmarked and kind of hollow. It instead radiates with your own kind of starlight, these almost like leopard spots of starlight going down your arm in various patches.
They'll lift up their arm and kind of just like look at it under the sun.
All choices have consequence.
Yeah.
You bear yours. And that is respectable. I will help you bear the burdens that you have incurred. I will compensate. And together, you and I will aid the bearers of justice, truth, and freedom.
And the others?
And those we will find. Love and hope must... love and peace must be found. Do you know where... they found truth and freedom? How they came to be in your possession?
Truth, yeah. Let's see. Where do we get him off? Or her, I guess. Her, him, I don't know.
It's, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I guess it doesn't
Don't
really
we get
have
one off of Kento's corpse?
That's what I couldn't remember if that's where truth came from or not.
Corrupted by Malachi's mate, who was trapped in Katoji's body. They corrupted
Okay.
it and then took it off them.
That's what I wanted to say, but I couldn't remember. Yeah, but truth, yeah, off of a former ally. I never really met him. He was before I joined the group.
I see. At the end of the God's War, the summation of what you refer to in your stories as the Spell Plague, we cast the relics into the Dale Lands.
But why?
They serve as conduit, an energy passing from beyond into your world. And it was my father's hope that his wishes, his endeavors would be brought with that energy. So, to the earth, he bestowed freedom. To fire, which one was fire? Oh, God. To fire, love. To air, peace. And to water, truth. In the hopes that each of these elements would bear with them his noble purpose. And then he took justice and mortal form and chose to protect your people. But I was just reading this story, this fascinating tale, the heart of Ken Silverlight. Kind of like flips through the pages. He bears justice now.
He does.
My father's son. He bears his blood. But with him, my father had to step out. And so we are the last bastion against this darkness that rises.
Yeah. The gods really helping us out, huh?
Kind of like turns around, walks into the glade. You follow him as he stares up through the trees and looks into the sky. And as you look through this clearing, this almost like rectangular patch in the trees, he waves his hands and the sky shifts. And you see a battlefield blasted with pure golden radiant light and the most light-consuming negative energy you could ever see. Bodies not blown asunder, but vaporized, and the energy within them turned into nothing. The gods' war. It was terrible. With Mistral's disappearance, the balance between the gods faded. And they fought for dominion. Your people lost arcane power, save for a very, very few. And divine waged against divine in an ever-ending and unending battle. For each war that we seemed to win, two more would strike. And in the end, before he could fully step foot into this world, we stopped them. She stopped them. It took arcane power. It took Mistra. And it took an agreement from all sides to not interfere. We have pushed these boundaries, and judging by the stories, so have they. But if they are unable to help us, it is not because they do not wish to, but that they fear the consequences of such action.
This is their fault. Why can't they just... Why all of this fighting in the first place? All of this shit happening now. All of this stuff that they need us to take care of. They could have just dealt with this all themselves.
I lived for near 1,000 years before I died. and 500 more as a sword, before losing my memory. Each age has its struggle. Every generation needs its heroes, for every generation breeds its villains. This is simply the trial of our time.
Be a lot easier otherwise.
It would be easier, yes, but for those of us who live mortal lives, who live and die, if we were to have all our problems solved for us, that life would be hollow. This is my belief, at least.
I mean, I understand solving our own problems. It's solving their problems I have a problem with.
It's
Power.
not...
No, just the power of gods. I don't know. I don't know that we were meant to have, you know. It's a lot of shit to put on a mortal, you know?
He nods. I do. I have asked more of the soldiers who have served me and served with me than any mortal should ever ask of any other. I have seen more brothers give their lives in noble sacrifice than I care to suffer recounting. But he turns and looks at you, and as you kind of lock eyes with his eyes burn with golden fire. Every hero that fell was a brick in the wall that eventually sealed away the goddess of tyranny. And with her locked away, we were able to recover. If it had not been for all of them, we would not be here today. It is important not to blame the fault on somebody. The problem is the problem. It is unproductive to blame a single entity for that. Whether they are responsible or not, we are the ones who can affect that change.
Sure. Whether we should have to, though. But I digress. This is.
You've had a long day.
Yeah, just. Can we talk about something less war-y? I'm dealing with that every day of the waking moment. Tell me something interesting. Tell me something fun from your time.
Kind of like stops, sits back. The mountain that we flew up, the spire of stone and steel that Colinde had used as her throne. I once stood upon it when it was manned and flew through the skies. Your people, mortals, maybe not changelings, but humanoids, had grown to such potential that even gravity no longer tethered them. I stood at the edge of a cliff over the clouds and the ocean. And it was beautiful. This world, all the worlds, are beautiful. They are worth every effort, every struggle, and every drop of blood and sweat.
Okay, we're getting a little esoteric again. Smaller scale. What do you... I don't know. What did you do for fun besides stand on mountaintops and look at the tiny little ants?
I mean, I collected my hoard, but you wouldn't be interested in that.
Okay, see, well, that's fun. See, hordes are fun. Taz collects stuff.
You know what Taz collects. Taz collects stories.
Memories. Yeah. Stories, memories. It's
Mm-hmm.
less of a... Is it a physical hoard?
Oh yes. Every ounce of silver and copper I could get my grubby little hands on, I stuffed
Monetary
away
hoard.
somewhere in the
Okay.
spine of the world. Platinum, gold back then, they were... Well, it was a war of the gods, and what is more divine than platinum and gold? But kind of like waves his hand, and that little screen in the sky flips away back from the sky into a mountain range. Vast and tall. Snow-capped. He kind of like zooms in on one mountain that's a little bit more secluded, goes further and further, and then as the vision kind of closes in on this cliff face, there's this almost half oval indentation in it that he just right through a few more little seemingly impervious walls of stone, and you find yourself in a massive chamber sparkling with silver coins, copper here and there, trinkets of gems and goblets, some of it kept in chests, a traditional dragon's hoard.
Rose
I
just
didn't-
whistles.
Yes, it is as I remember it, at least. I did not have much time to collect it, especially after I became a sword, but it was fun to while away what little things I could, find what bits of silver and copper could be spared, and keep them safe for a rainy day.
I mean, it is still there. Do you want it?
I honestly don't know. I have no need for it.
Since you're part of me, can I have it?
Roll me a persuasion check. Kind of like turns his head sideways towards you and looks out at you, turned out of the corner of his eyes, and he looks up at you. If you can find it and find your way in, sure.
You are part of me now, right? Sort of. I mean, I guess you're still kind of your own.
Kind of walks back towards you and puts a hand on your shoulder. I am your ally. I am your blade. I will offer you guidance, counsel, and may be able to answer questions, as my knowledge predates anything that you've seen. And perhaps you can answer questions for me, as your knowledge is far, far more complete of these last 1400 years than mine.
No.
I am not a part of you, but I am bonded to you. Those bonds can be broken. He kind of tightens his grip on your shoulder. But I trust your character. I've seen it. You bore Colinde, kept her at bay, and you did not succumb to her evil. You may not be the paladin that I expected, but you are my paladin.
Just don't call me that in front of Thorn. He will not let me live it down.
Kind of nods, closes his eyes. Very well. Now, let me get back to these stories. I was just getting to some interesting bits.
You should read read the fun ones.
There was one. Early days. About a fish. A statue of one.
I mean, you could ask Taz more about that one. You should talk to her, honestly, if you want to know more about the last 1400 years. I've got 20-something of those, but she's got the rest.
It would be good to talk to a sister.
Are you all actually related? Like, they call Ken their brother. Is it like a literal thing?
Not literally, no. But amongst our kin, we see those that we fight with, bleed with, ally ourselves with, as brothers and sisters. Blood only goes so far. True family is forged in conflict, trial, and knowing who has your back when everyone else has left. And for my people, well, our nature is dictated by our father. We are more heavily influenced than your people are by your gods. And so it's easier to see each other as family. There's less betrayal amongst the metallics.
Well, what now?
Now, well, grab a book, read with me, entertain yourself.
It feels a little... 'cause these are from... That seems a little narcissistic.
Oh, no. That bookshelf there are my memories.
Oh, ooh, okay. Actually. Okay.
You grab just a random book, take it back, and just begin reading about the life of a young gold dragon in an age where magic was unrestricted, unregulated, free. People could touch the heavens themselves. Now you all can take your long rest, as everybody's dream sequences are done.
The button.
That one took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to.
Only one exhaustion level now.
know.
So, as you guys all awaken, Ken, Takashi, Aerith, you rouse yourselves within the mansion. Ken and Takashi, what do you guys want to do today? Let's start with you guys.
I would like to meditate.
Hey, go ahead and roll me a wisdom check.
Let's see. I haven't done it in a while. I think I'm gonna meditate with the intent of training Gift of the Metallic Dragon.
Okay.
because I'm remembering what Taz said. Trying to adjust my mindset. Work from within instead of the exterior.
Sounds good.
Hey.
All right, that's good. As you close your eyes, let's see for your gift. This is 4d6 for that one. You kind of start thinking about what she had said. You are the dragon, and the dragon is you. You keep kind of iterating on these words, and then her reaction, Rose's reaction, everyone's reaction after you had kind of taken them to heart and attempted to, be the dragon. Got a little out of control, just a little bit. And then you think about the mindscape that you were just in. You find yourself focusing on the Golden Knight. He was a dragon. He was a dragon that fought. You don't see many dragons that fight like fighters. But each strike, it was almost like watching a dragon fight. His lunge attacks with that glaive seemed to extend out like the jabbing of a spiked tail. The blade itself forming this conduit that he could use his dragon's breath from. And in that meditation, you kind of start flipping that a little. I am the dragon. Dragon is me. I don't need to be Ascalon to be Ascalon. It's always there. While Ken meditates, what you got, Takashi?
Considering I just finished mobile, let's start working on a new feat.
Alright.
What about athlete?
Athlete, that's a good one. Let's see. Let's see. Oh no.
Got to open my justice charges.
Yes.
I think it's
Oh boy. Let's call this one 255. And go ahead and do Takashi.
okay. 1d6 plus 2. So that's our 1d6 plus 2. Oh, I put one F6, not 1d6.
Something seems to be wrong with the above roll. Failed verification.
Fail.
There we go.
Alright. So go ahead and roll me strength, Takashi.
Nice.
Powerful.
Okay. It's a powerful start. All right, so you start with 1d6. As you kind of like get out, you do your morning, mobility exercises to keep yourself nice and fresh. And as you start going into it, you're realizing you kind of haven't been making very much progress on that lately. It's time to switch it up, So you kind of go into like crunches, push-ups, and it's a good day's exercise, but it's the start of a very long road. Aerith, as you awaken here within the magnificent mansion, you kind of drift past. Let's see, your room's there. Where are you heading first?
Breakfast.
Okay. You head out of your room, and as you head towards where the eating, I keep wanting to call it a mess hall or a cafeteria, dining room. The dining room.
hall.
The eating place. The dining hall. You walk past the kind of like the war room chamber that has the windows that look out upon the training field, and you can see Takashi out there doing just like calisthenics, kind of, exercising. You head over to the dining hall and sit down, and a made version of yourself like wafts over towards you and holds out an ethereal menu that literally just has like a line on it that's just basically like, what do you want? So you can write whatever you want for breakfast. They'll go and retrieve it for you quietly because they don't speak, and bring that back for you. As you are eating and kind of like thumbing through your book, Ken and Takashi, you both wrap up your morning exercises and join Aerith at breakfast. Rose, what are you doing this morning? As you wake up, Thorn is kind of like half snoring with his head cocked at a really bad angle, like leaned onto your shoulder. You look down and there's just like, you have the Nereid cloak. Well, no, it's not the Nereid cloak anymore. You have the dust one. And there's just like...
Herathri cloak.
Yeah, there's this long drop of spittle, probably about 2 inches long, that's just like dripping out of his mouth, and it looks like it's just about to hit your cloak.
I cast Mage Hand and like push it back up onto his face.
Roll me a charisma check. As you kind of quickly flick your hand, bring out your mage hand, and you kind of like push it back up onto his face. You get it all up on the side of his face. It's all wet. And he kind of looks over at you. Morning. Cracks his neck. That's better. Looks over
nice.
it.
Nice option for sleeping. You could have laid down, you know.
I didn't want to sleep on the floor, and
What? I have a lap right here.
just looks at you and smiles in that kind of sheepish, I didn't think about that way that you've come to find endearing about Thorn. At least I hope, because damn, he definitely embodies that part of me. And he kind of like stands up, and as he stands up, you hear like crack, crack, crack all up his back as he stretches it up. And he walks over and sits down, kind of like puts his hand on Bastile's shoulder, shakes him. Dad.
Any change?
Pats him on the cheek. Takes out like a small like dagger from his waist and holds it up against his mouth. He's still breathing. His heart's beating. He's alive, but I'm sorry, Dad. Give me just... Takes one arm out from under the blanket and flips his hand over, kind of takes the knife and presses it firmly against the finger. You see this like little droplet of blood. But he won't wake up. Wipes the blood away, tucks it back under. What do we do if he doesn't ever wake up? What do I do? Damn it, I knew.
You know what to do. You do what he would want you to do. Keep going.
You're right. Let's go make sure you're the tall brooding one with the hood. I don't know that one's name. Let's go make sure he's... I don't remember it, at least.
Hey, it's fine. Come here.
Kind of like looks at you and like walks over slowly and like puts his head down. Are you still sitting on the love seat?
Yeah.
Kind of like sits or kind of kneels down in front of you, kind of getting his face on the same height as yours.
Everyone else is fine for right now. And I know that you're not, and I don't know what to say. I'm sorry for all of this, and I know that's not what you want me to say.
No. But I know. You're right. Kind of like kneels back up a little bit straighter, straightens his back out, and slaps both of his cheeks. You're right. We've seen some crazy shit in the last 7 years. We've been through a lot, and he would want us to keep going. And damn it, that's what we'll do. Besides, maybe he just needs to sleep for a few days. I used to say it's forever.
Don't assume it will be forever. Like, don't start with that.
Right? I mean that's crazy, right? That's just ridiculous. You don't start worst case scenario.
No, he's powerful. Okay, if anyone could get back after that, it would be him. And I'm sure he's fine.
He kind of like stands up, and as he does, he puts both of his arms under your armpits and lifts you up with them, kind of like picks you up a little bit off the ground, but he's not very strong. You know this about Thorn. None of you are particularly strong.
Stronger than me now.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you too.
Squeezes you just a little bit tighter. Okay. I think his name was Oni, right? Let's go get Oni. Meet up with Ken and Aerith and Takashi. And get back to Taz.
Food first, right?
Yes, food. Yes, absolutely.
Please eat.
I just hadn't even thought about it. You guys go and get Oni, who had been spending his day in quiet meditation. Having wrapped up his trance earlier than everybody else, he then did his daily training, which I'll let Earth roll for. Yeah, I can't type it there. Hopefully someone will help me remember for next session for him that he had a daily training. And as you get him, he kind of gives you a nod and gets his gear together. During this time, your allies within the mansion have finished their trainings. Are you going to meet them in the mansion for breakfast?
Rose will follow Thorn like to the door, but then they'll kind of stop outside the door to the mansion.
I know it's been a while, but do you want me to go get them? I can wait out here with you if you want.
No, you should eat.
No, sorry, that's me playing two different people. I will go get them. I, Oni, will wait out here. And Thorn, will go get them.
You should go eat too. There's food in the mansion. You just can't, technically bring it out.
Thorn just looks at you and just kind of blinks a couple times, just staring at you. Come on.
Just go eat. It's okay.
All right. looks over at Oni, and Oni just shrugs and goes, I'm happy with rations. I'll wait out here with them.
Fine.
Takes out his scroll, and reach into his scroll and grab a brick of hardtack. He'll post up out here with you, Rose. Thorn will go into the mansion. All right. So, as you three gather around for breakfast within the mansion, Ken and Takashi, having wrapped up your morning training, Ken, you kind of stretch, go through your little morning calisthenics, and then walk past the training yard as you see Takashi, like, with one of the towels from the ethereal servants, kind of just patting himself off from his morning exercise. You can hear the sound, well, not even the sounds of eating, but you know that there is food, and you can feel the stomach grumbling. You head to get breakfast, are treated the same as Aerith with a menu that has kind of like a straight line just across both sides of it that you can just either hold your hand out like it has a quill to write with, or you just think about what you want, you know, pancakes and bacon, and you can just see pancakes and bacon written on the menu. Fold that to them. What did the three of you have for breakfast? Aerith.
That's a really good question.
Right? Trying to get some back and forth.
What's your favorite breakfast?
That's a really good question.
Considering that you feel a bit groggy and your bones are still a little cold and weary from your adventures in the mindscape.
A nice, hot, fried egg sandwich with tomatoes and avocado and bacon.
That sounds
And everything
delicious.
bacon.
Right?
Delicious. Ken, what's on your plate?
I'm thinking. My first thought was the chocolate pancakes I made Mia the other day.
Go for it,
You're
man.
gonna break your heart.
Comfort food.
That's what I figured.
Yeah,
you'd think
it's
that.
comfort.
That's honestly where I thought you were gonna go too.
Yep.
For breakfast. Yeah, and then like a glass of like orange juice, some sort of like fruit juice.
Okay. What about you, Takashi?
Orange. Yeah, let's just default to orange.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Maybe some steak and eggs and some pickled vegetables on the side.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. As the three of you gather for your morning breakfast, kind of indulging with the complete freedom to be able to get anything that you wanted, your comfort foods, your brain foods, your, you know, bulking up foods. Is there anything you guys wanted to discuss before Thorn comes in?
All right, guys. I was gonna say, once we're back at the camp, we're gonna need to do a full inventory of all of our gear. If need be, I'm going to do maintenance checks on everyone's equipment, and after that, we need to have a family meeting.
Oh boy.
Well, I say family meeting, but I guess it really depends on whatever information the scouts bring back. So, not family meeting, but a meeting.
War Council.
Yeah.
Have we figured out how to get to the Thorn wall yet, or no?
Nope.
Not yet.
Gotcha.
I was going to say transform an Ascalon and burn a hole in it, but Rose immediately shot it down.
Yeah, that's the fair response.
Given
Rose
that
did the
Yeah,
right
so-
we've seen your progress, so
Yeah, so I will not do that.
Yet.
Maybe.
And then I gotta give something to Oni as well. That just popped in my head. So that's what I had in mind. If anyone wants to add or object.
I mean, we know a few demons. We can have them burn away through the
Oh Lord.
giant thorn wall. sure that
Rumstoth
will
is an ice demon. He'd have to freeze it, and he's the most friendly.
I know Robert.
That's
He's
true.
kind of a demon. He has a demon army.
He's
You
a
can't
devil.
enlist Robert's help. We're not even on the material plane.
Look at him. Yelled him.
If I try
Hey,
to
get over the
send him
Feywild.
a message, will it just sound like chipmunks, like it's as if it's being played in fast forward?
I mean, you've done messages to and from the Feywild before. The hiccups were happening because of something Bastille was doing, but it normally just works, as long as you can get past that inherent 5% fail rate.
Yeah.
I'm sure Robert can burn his way into the Feywild and help us out.
Sure, that's healthy for the Feywild.
I'm sure they'd enjoy it.
Add a little bit of burning to the Fey.
Yeah.
I'm sure Robert would enjoy it.
Would he?
I have no idea. I mean,
Because I feel like.
if
feel
you
like
if you
Robert-
told him there's cultists here, come kill them, he'd be like, yes.
I feel like
feel
Robert
like
would
if-
hate the Feywild.
He would.
He probably
and I
would.
feel like,
Realistically, he would hate the Feywild.
I feel like Rose and Robert would just immediately get into an argument.
Also, yes.
I mean, that was always what
Right.
happened.
Probably. Probably. He'd come help and be like, wait, we did what? Rose is now the what?
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 No!
He'd be so grumpy. He'd be so grumpy. It's like, oh, it's fine. It's fine if she becomes a Fey Queen or whatnot, but I can't become a devil. Yeah.
I sacrifice one city and make a deal with one devil, and I'm suddenly the bad guy.
Exactly.
Like, there is an exception to this if you don't look.
I
at
will
the
say-
exception.
To be fair, nobody didn't have his memories at that point.
Mhm.
And now, thinking about it with his memories, like, yeah, it's not a good idea. We shouldn't have done that.
That's fair.
It's like,
Lessons learned.
shit. I have set the balance.
All right. Well, you guys wrap up your breakfast. You hear the mansion door in the distance kind of... You don't hear the door open, but you hear a gentle... Dong, 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 dong. Someone entering the mansion. That's new. Then you hear...
Yeah.
Hello? Where are you guys at? This place is huge.
Follow the smell of food.
Right. Food. And a minute later, Thorn steps into the dining hall. Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. He kind of like steps in, kind of looks down at everybody's food. Yes. Turns to the waiter version of himself, holds up a hand. The waiter version holds up a hand. They go through this very intricate, like high five kind of handshake sequence, and then Thorn nods and goes, "I just want everything that they're having. Just one of each would be great." The other version of him nods and walks away, and Thorn sits down at the table.
I'm surprised he's not going to remark on the fact that he's wearing a maid outfit.
Oh no, I'm very much used to that. I think it's kind of. I think I got kind of it. Anyway, so
Eric is already
how's
thinking in his head, oh, Mia just makes him wear it and out of the mansion. Got it.
Rose.
Yeah. Wrong one.
That's a very
He looks at you
conversation.
as you give him that sly smile, and he goes, "What? Did I say something?"
No, nothing at all. And I take just another bite of my sandwich. I plead the bite.
As you take the bite, the door opens once again, and the waiter version of himself comes in with a tray of food, one of each of your plates on it. Thorn picks up the sandwich, and then the knife, and kind of jabs it into the steak. Bite of the sandwich, bite of the steak. So how'd you guys sleep?
Eh.
Not bad.
Same as usual.
Cool.
It's been a while since I've slept as good as that. Usually we've been sleeping in makeshift camps and or the bunks at the guild hall.
Yeah. Rose did, well, they did eventually feel bad about taking the key with them.
Speaking of,
Where's-
caused you guys some trouble.
Speaking of which, where's Rose?
They're not really comfortable with the mansion anymore. So they're waiting outside with Oni, but they said to just, eat up, enjoy, get our strength, and so that's what I'm trying to do, As he looks down, puts down the sandwich and the steak with the knife, and grabs a fork and gets like the whole stack of pancakes on the fork. Oh, really good.
Does his jaw like unhinge?
Yeah. Because he's a changeling, so he can just ever so slightly like morph his physiology just a little bit to make it just a little surreal. It's borderline disgusting. But he keeps his mouth shut the entire time he's chewing. It's just got almost like a cartoony look to it.
Terrifying.
All right.
Changelings have weird eating habits. Period.
I think that's just Thorn.
Whoa. Ugh. What do you mean?
'Cause I don't think Rose ever ate like that.
Am I doing something? Kind of like puts down the stack of pancakes.
No,
one's ever
keep eating. Like, you're fine. It's just that's not how we eat. We don't unhinge our jaw.
You don't because you can't.
Exactly.
You would.
It's like watching a human dislocate their jaw every time they eat. It's kind of odd.
Awesome. Okay.
Disturbing is more accurate.
We started on the same vowel, so I'm kind of vowel sounds. I'm happy with that. All right. Well, I guess let's finish up. Go meet up with everybody else and figure out what we're all doing today. Gotta get back to the war front.
good. Yep, I have got a plan in mind. So once we're done, I'll brief y'all once we're outside.
Got it.
Did Rose
Alright.
ever say why she's uncomfortable about going in the mansion?
I'll let them tell you if they
If
want
she
to.
ever does.
It's not my place.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right. And he kind of like hum. Finishes up his food as you guys finish eating as well. Okay. All right. You wrap up breakfast, kind of head out of the mansion. Was there anything else you guys wanted to do or talk about over breakfast in the mansion?
No.
All right. As you head out into the estate of the Archfey of Winter, you emerge into the comfortable and kind of dimly lit bedchamber. You can see the still sleeping form of Bastille covered in his blankets, just in the bed off to your left about 8-10 feet. But you don't see Rose or Thorn. Or, sorry, not Thorn. You don't see Rose or Oni. Can everyone roll me a perception check?
No.
Roll another 2.
I rolled something better.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
With disadvantage, you rolled a 12. That's not bad.
No.
Takashi and
But guess
Ken.
what? I rolled a 7.
You're immediately drawn to the sounds of. It's not combat. It's more just like exhortation, like yes, and like little chuckles here and there, where it's like you hear as you walk over to the window and open it and kind of look down on the garden, the yard below. You see Rose wielding Zanar, this massive blade of platinum and vines against Oni, and as they swing it out, Oni like ducks out of the way and like deflects it a bit with his what are they called? The bracers on his forearms, as he's chuckling at how quickly Rose is able to move this massive sword. It is almost surreal the way that it just flows with them, like almost like it's a short sword, like this smaller version of a blade, but massive. As you guys look down at the window, they spin, and there's like this where they clash against each other, and there's a flash of energy as the two magical items clash against each other, and they kind of away a few feet and look up. And Rose, you look over and you can see your allies standing in the window, just kind of looking down at you guys, watching you train.
They'll just reach one hand up and wave them down.
Thorn.
We jump.
Yeah, I was just about to say,
You
Thorn
can.
waves and then kind of climbs into the window and smiles at you guys, and then whoop, dink, dink, and he drops down to the window ledge below, and then down to the ground, and then runs over to Rose.
I'm
don't
gonna
have
go out the
slow
door the
roll.
normal way.
Yeah.
He used the stairs like a normal person.
Okay. Thorn runs up to Rose, looks kind of like he looks a lot better. He looks full for one.
That's
He smiles. Looks good on you. You wield it well.
I am not used to wielding a sword, much less something this big, but it feels good.
You wield me well, young paladin, but there is always room for improvement. Always.
Did you say that
Don't-
in my head or out loud?
Thorn goes, okay, talking sword, that's going to be weird to get used to. There's
God damn
always
it, I
another
literally
person.
told you not to tell him that you're calling me a paladin.
Right.
Sentence one.
Paladin
No.
of the summer.
Not a paladin!
Thorn looks at you, goes, wait, what did he say about a paladin?
Nope. I don't know, you're hearing things.
What? Okay.
Paladin of the summer.
Waves over to Oni. Oni waves back. You hear the door open as Ken and Takashi. You actually missed the paladin moment, Aerith, as you took the stairs.
Wow.
If you
Like a
jumped,
loser.
you'd be able to make fun of Rose, but you took the stairs, so you
I
guys
mean,
walk
either,
out.
I would have either taken the stairs or I would have just jumped on my broom and floated down.
Well, which
Did
one
you?
was it?
Which one did you?
I probably would have done the broom because I'm overwalking.
Okay. As Thor jumps down, you drift down gently on your broom. Takashi and Ken share a look, and then go down the stairs like normal people. You poke fun at the mentioning of the paladin. The door opens.
Paladin
You
of
see.
Summer.
Rose will snap a finger and cast silence around you.
I move out of the way.
As you move out, silence is a pretty big bubble. Does it
It's like
catch you as well,
32.
Rose? Yeah, because it's like 20-foot radius. So if Aerith was close enough to you, you would
Sure,
have just
why
cast
not?
it on
Then
him.
I
and
don't.
Everyone falls into silence.
Then I can't hear him at least.
Thorn looks at you and mouths a little bit, and then his eyes go wide, and then he kind of just smiles and shakes his head.
Isn't
And-
that one of the first things Rose ever did too? No matter
Yes.
she cast silence on all of us.
I just pull
Fantastic.
out my book and write out Paladin of Summer and just show it to Rose in her field of vision.
I had totally forgotten. That's just what he calls you.
It fits, honestly, because, that's
Oh.
probably what he would do.
Right? As you approach Ken and Takashi, you step through the barrier of the silence, and the sound of bird song and chirping, of insects buzzing in this kind of beautiful, beautiful late summer temperature day. Although it is always dusk here, this kind of illuminated twilight. All of a sudden, all sound around you is gone. Rose has a
crap.
very, very smug smile on their face.
I'm just gonna take a deep sigh, be like, you know what? I hope this isn't a sign of how the day's gonna be.
Ken's gonna look at Rose and just shakes his head, like, why?
And I just show Ken what I've written down.
Mage Hand tries to snap your book shut.
I
Roll
stepped
me.
away. Wait, hold on. Mage Hand isn't it vocal?
Yeah, but I cast it before. It's still out.
Oh.
Or at least I guess I could have recast it.
Did you?
Did
Because
I?
it would have been more than, how long does Mage Hand last? Is it an hour or 10 minutes?
Oh, it's only 1 minute.
Oh, it's only yeah, that's faded.
And then try to snap it shut with my own hand.
Okay, roll
I
me
fly
contested
upward.
dexterity checks. Contested dexterity, please.
Is this still at advantage?
Disadvantage, you mean?
Or
Yes.
yeah, disadvantage.
For both of you, as you're both exhausted.
Oh, no.
Nice.
You snap your hand out, Rose, and kind of like stumble forward as Aerith kicks back into the air, and just out of the silence bubble, and you hear him start laughing.
Ken will just gesture, cut it out.
Fine. And I just close the book. And just look at Rose and still give a smile.
I'm gonna make you wait the entire 10 minutes until this wears off.
So you just stand in the bubble for 10 minutes.
Yep.
Does anyone else leave the bubble and have a conversation without Rose?
I'm leaving the bubble.
Hell.
Thorn smiles at you and then kind of shrugs, and then he's just gonna follow them, Rose. Actually, Oni would have done that. Thorn would stay with you. So that's what I'll do.
Yeah. Yep, I miss that. Just the
Shenanigans.
sibling shenanigans. Oni, real quick, I have
Yes.
something to give you.
What
And
is that?
then Ken will sort through his bag, and so I've been doing some thinking this morning, and I feel like you would benefit from this more than I would. And he'll pass him the wisdom book.
Kind of take it from you. Are you sure?
Yeah, like I said, I've just been doing a lot of thinking and seeing how in tune you are with your senses and how you use those to just absolutely wreck our enemies so far. Having the boons that book is going to give you, it just adds to our group ability that much more. So yes, I'm sure.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put this in my hole for now, but just remind me
Don't
tomorrow
say it
when
like
I'm
that.
when I'm me again, so that I remember.
Well,
Yeah.
I have to. It's what Oni would say.
Yeah, well, Rose
Yeah.
didn't hear it. You're lucky Rose didn't hear you say that.
So that's the Tome of Clear Thought, I think.
Which tome is it for strength or
Wisdom.
Just wisdom.
wisdom?
That's
That's the wisdom book.
understanding.
Which books have we found so far? I'm pretty sure we found the charisma. We found the wisdom.
Found-
we found
Intelligence.
We found
strength.
intelligence,
Oh,
and I used the con book way back
the
when.
con.
Yeah,
I
and there's been a
usually
deck book. I think you found pretty much everything except for a strength book, because Oni
Yeah.
has the dex book.
strength.
Yeah, I know. It's because you all are sad. No,
All
it's
the
'cause
strength
strength is
based left.
sad. Yeah, it's rough. It's a rough life out there.
All you get is what? Athletics.
Yeah, it's just
That's why I
athletics.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's why I made that belt.
Exactly. As the 10 minutes fade, a voice rings out, "Not a paladin of summer, a paladin of my father, and
God
a paladin
Damn it.
of the world." I've been holding that in for 8.5 minutes.
Why?
It's important that they know why we fight. Why we all fight.
I'm so glad
Oh,
Rose has
boy.
met her match, and she's like stuck with him.
All right, kiddos. Let's link up and figure out what we're gonna do today.
Oh god, there was one thing I forgot to do. Aerith,
Yeah.
retroactively, can you roll
Explode.
me another perception check?
Ah, crap.
2. Oh.
Okay, 17.
Hey.
The
As
girl
you had
following.
finished your trance this morning,
Oh.
you came back to yourself. There was something different as you equipped your gear and kind of re-acclimated yourself for the day. It was like seeing an echo ahead of time. And as you looked down at your wrists, you could see the bangles of truth have changed. They now have inscriptions laid all around them that glow with just that kind of dim platinum light that you've seen coming out of Ken's armor as they are beginning to wake up.
The one ring that rules them all. I mean.
Let's see, where is Bahamut's truth?
Wake up.
As soon as you said inscription, I'm just like, the one ring? I mean, the one
Yes.
single?
You're about to go insane.
This one, there.
I'm already wearing them. Am I invisible now?
So your saving throw went up, and you gained a couple of new aspects with it.
New toys.
As you kind of like acclimate yourself to this feeling, you reach out your hand at the beginning of the day, and for a moment you feel like you can see your hand before your hand gets there, and then your hand hits the door, and there's this kind of like almost stuttering, and then it fades into just the normalcy of the day. But you have a little bit of precognition.
Mhm. I was about to say that wouldn't be disorienting at all, but
It acclimates, so it's kind of like it's there, but it's being processed by not your conscious mind, you know. But I meant to give you that. There you go. Ken, at this point, can you roll me a perception check as well?
Yes,
See
sir.
if you've noticed.
Yes.
Okay. You have not.
Oh no.
You
Do I want to use a flash of genius for this?
It's up to you.
Do it, do it, do it, do it.
I mean, fuck it, we got another day.
Yay.
As you rewinding just a little bit, as you joined Aerith that morning, you had noticed the slight change in the bangles on his wrist. They they give off a more vibrant energy than they had previously.
Oh, that's neat.
He sparkles a little more.
Do you like it? And I just make a weird pose.
As we return here to the regathering out back, the silence bubble drops and kind of groups together. Okay, so
What are we doing today? I guess.
Sorry, that's so out far afield. I just remembered, Aerith, we gotta find your boyfriend that you went to the ball with.
Oh.
You weren't there for that.
I wasn't, but this is why I said out of character. Far right field.
I was
Speaking of sparkles, you gotta
thinking
find your
about
boyfriend.
him. I was thinking about him when this whole summer court thing.
20 years later,
or- It's,
will he still remember
I
you?
know. Would he still remember? And I'm just like, even if I can like give him a call, like, would he even help?
You never know. Maybe that's how we get through the wall.
You could send him a sending.
I could.
You got his number.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I need to figure out what the fuck he's saying.
Hey, it's the guy you asked to hook up with 20 years ago. Remember me? Want to help us with a war?
Yeah, I'm
Sorry, I just
totally
remembered
like
that.
Yeah.
appreciate that. I hadn't thought of that guy since I made him up on the spot. But I've already got an idea.
Turns
He's
out he's like one
articulated.
of Titania's like highest generals, and he like tattles on us, and we die.
know.
Nah, he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that to Aerith.
Not to Aerith.
I mean, he was a
I'm
noble
pretty
at
sure
the
I was
party,
his
which
only
means he
one
had
night
to been
stand.
pretty high up there.
Yeah. Plus, you didn't even tell him your real name.
Let's see. As I write this out, it's probably going to be more than a paragraph.
Use
25
all your spell
words.
slots for unsending.
I am not going to use that.
So
I only have 3.
No, no.
you can do 75 words.
No.
I think.
I know I named him.
If my warlock
He
level
did
was
have a name.
that high, then maybe. But no, it's not.
Then you're going through my notes, and I'm like going past like the second segment of the show involves several animals gathered from around the Feywild. They set up for whose line is it any Fey? And it's like, man, things were definitely a lot more upbeat like
Simpler.
4 months ago.
Our entire plan hinges on if Aerith can get in contact.
God, why?
One night stand.
That wasn't even a one night stand because they didn't even sleep with him.
I have a 2-page
about-
bullet point notes that just says the events of the gala and the heist of Archie's 11. I think it might be in here.
I could have swore Aerith, no, because Aerith left early, didn't he? After we got everything to go with the guy. And then he stayed with them until morning. And then we had to quickly
Maybe,
book it
yeah,
out.
yeah.
I wrote
actually
his
can't
name
remember.
down. His name was Zanless. Yeah? Zanless. And you gave him the name Arcus.
I did, because that was the name I was using.
I forgot. Gnome.
Gnome. And then immediately meeting 2 garden gnomes and being like, I'm gnome. And they're like, I'm a gnome too.
I hope those two are doing alright.
Who
I'm
knows?
sure it's fine. It's been 20 years.
Short and simple. Let's see.
I kind of left
anything-
one of the gnomes traumatized.
This sucks. That I'm very socially awkward.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh boy.
That's fair. I mean, the thing is, like, Aerith isn't necessarily not socially awkward. He's a sage. He's a wizard. He's not a bard.
Also from a noble family.
Mhm.
Persuasion. I suck. Where is it? Persuasion. Oh no.
Aw.
Mhm, mhm.
That's funny.
Oh,
Let
the
me see, let me
net
see.
20.
Ah,
You gotta give him. Aerith, use your inspiration.
I have inspiration.
it would still be a. It would still be a
Yes.
3 though.
To make it a single roll in the 3. If you
I
had
thought we
told me
all
you were
had
going to
one
talk,
inspiration.
if you told me you were going to talk to somebody, I would have given you bardic inspiration.
Roll
but-
me insight, Aerith,
Oh.
or Arcana, your choice, and you don't have disadvantage on this one.
Okay. I'll do Arcana because my Arcana is better than Insight.
Okay. Okay. 24. Okay. You send the spell out, and it's not like going between the worlds where it can kind of like just be lost and you're not sure. When the spell completes, you don't take psychic damage, but it feels closer to how you remember messaging Rose, like screaming at somebody on the other side of a pane of glass.
Interesting.
So okay. So it's like, did it go through, or is like his response just not
Stonewall.
coming through?
Give me another Arcana. This time it is a disadvantage.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna use a charge of my ring of puzzle.
All right.
Haha!
It feels like it went through, but like the spell completed, but then was blocked. It didn't bounce back to you. It didn't fail, but it was prevented.
So bad news.
Yeah.
I was able to cast the spell, but in terms of the message, it's more like it was purposefully blocked.
Uh-oh.
What does that mean? Who were you trying to message?
A friend?
Okay. That's it?
Yes.
That's what you're going with?
Yes.
Let me roll insight on that.
I don't even need to
Hide
roll.
something.
Yeah. No shit.
I'm not trying to hide something.
Says
I'm
the
just-
guy hiding something.
I'm just glad that my deception, regardless of disadvantage, it still sucks.
Yep.
Congratulations.
The most average of
Okay.
commoners on the most average of rolls could see through that.
So, what then? If you're not going to tell us who you're messaging, then
It's just someone in the summer court. See if they had any information.
who do you know in the summer court and why?
Just someone I met a long time ago, give or take 20 years.
Give or take 2 months.
We need
Give or take 2
details.
months. Either like 2 months or 20 years. Pfft, who's counting?
You know. Okay. So it went through, but it was blocked.
Yeah. So I guess it's not just the wall Ball of Thorns.
Possibly, unless she has some sort of prevention of, like,
If somebody went on the inside, they can't message back and forth.
yeah, or she has wards up around, I know, like her own tower and maybe the city. I don't know how far her influence spreads necessarily.
We know that teleportation's within
Yeah.
the, what was it that she called that place? Oh God. The God who makes this world is trying to remember. She can't.
Yeah.
Um,
Her weird, gross tower thing.
yeah, it was based on the Bellagio, but it wasn't the Bellagio. The Palacio, that was what it was, the Palacio. Her palace,
Stupid name.
is a very stupid name, but you know, it is what it is. It's gonna be your palace soon. Anyway, we know that there have been protections on that to prevent teleportation or any. So
Right.
could be just
I
worded.
mean, yeah, I
how-
assume
who-
there would be
who is
ones
this
against
guy?
crime. Yeah, Aerith.
or,
Who is this
or
man?
girl, or I'm not trying to presume here.
I'm gonna presume that since it's a quote unquote friend, it's probably a guy. Which means you slept with somebody in the summer court, which I'm extremely disappointed about.
What?
I would think you'd be impressed.
There-
You'd be like, yeah, go Aerith.
the summer court.
Technically, by
wasn't
the
bad.
end of this, you're gonna be the queen of the summer court.
Yeah,
so you
but
don't
I'm
really
gonna
get to
make it-
complain.
But I'm gonna make it full of not awful pretentious people who are crazy and insane.
Who's to say
Wasn't
all of them for this?
pretentious or crazy?
There you go.
He was actually quite dashing.
Yeah.
I didn't actually. Did you say his name? I didn't hear what you said.
No, he has not said his
No, I
name.
have not said his name.
I too have been ears perked just in case.
Can I
And-
subtle spell detect thoughts on him?
Sure. Aerith, roll me intelligence. Just a flat intelligence, not disadvantage.
Intelligence.
Okay. You subtle spell detect thoughts, and all you can really hear is this baseline chanting, the blade song that you've heard. Aerith is blocking his thoughts. You'd have to dive deeper.
Fuck it, I'll do it.
Okay, maybe a wisdom saving throw, Aerith.
Disadvantage.
No.
No,
Oh
the
wait,
one's
no,
actually
it's
savings.
yeah, it's normal.
Fortunately, Rose's magic is quite potent, and as you feel them begin poking around at the exterior parts of your mind, your kind of mental facade of your blade song being chanted in your mind to just kind of keep your thoughts from being directly readable, you feel them kind of punch through that barrier, and as you raise your own kind of defenses against it, they smash through and begin looking and scrounging around for exactly what they're looking for. Let me make sure that I got this.
I
Does Rose have to
forcefully bring up the
concentrate?
memories of that night.
I
forcefully bring up the memories of that I spent with the man.
Okay.
Gonna show him what she doesn't want to see.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
I mean, I'm not. Hey, Rose isn't a prude.
If it fails, and okay, all right. As you smash through, and Aerith, you feel that, and like in that moment, like fuck it, you want to see? Fine. You reveal the night. Rose, you've heard the stories of the gala, the theft of the sword, of the flag, the beginning of the war. what set all of this off. And watching it through Aerith's memories is a lot different than you were expecting. It's a little bit more what's the right word for it? Efficient than you were expecting. And as they wrap it up, you can kind of half see out of the corner of it as a shadow on the wall snags Snickersnack, and Aerith dances with a tall, handsome Summer Eladrin. And the name Xanless comes to mind. Roll me a history check.
Right, do I know this man? History.
Be hilarious if you did.
We've got one other person who's been heavily tied up with all of this, so... Guys, Thorn has a 10 intelligence, so...
Yeah. Great. Cool.
That 19.
Right.
You feel like the names... Go ahead.
I have an inspiration marked on my sheet from God knows when. I really
trust
want to
you're
know if I
supposed
know
to
this
have it.
man. Yeah. All right, I'll use it.
You
Okay.
gave an inspiration to everyone in the party for something we did. It was a while ago.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, yeah.
remember what we did, but everyone did get one.
As you think
It
about
was
your...
the near perfect run of the heist.
I think Rose's came from before.
Rose
like,
came
Yeah,
from-
Rose's
mine
came from a
was
long time ago.
From a long
Oh,
time ago.
right.
But yeah, I would say that
I don't-
you would have one.
Yeah, I don't remember when
It
that
was-
happened.
Yeah, but that base was so flawless. That was crazy.
Nobody has one as well, but I don't remember where he got his from.
Right. Got them
I
for
give out an
various things
inspiration.
and
It
forget.
doesn't get used as often as I'd like. It's fine. It
I
gets
want
used
to
in
use
the
it more.
moments that it's necessary. And as you think about it, Thorn kind of like... I mean, it kind of sounds familiar, but like all of the Summer Eladrin kind of...
Hold on.
You got something?
Thinking.
You kind of think back. You remember a report maybe about 5 years ago, given to you by one of your spies early on that ended up being caught later on. But one of the few bits of information they were able to get out was a list of sympathizers, people that were building political resistance within the city against Titania. And your memory, not 100%, but you swear you saw that first name on the list of those that had been suspected of sympathizing with the enemy.
Okay. Okay. All right. I might be slightly less disappointed in you.
Why the change of heart?
He saw you, or they saw you fuck them. That's what changed their heart.
Your
They were
Also, your
impressed, man.
technique needed some work, honestly, actually. He could, okay. And you couldn't get through to him.
No.
Keep trying if you can. He could be helpful, actually.
Why?
Well, if it's the same guy that I'm thinking of, I don't know him per se. That there was a report he might have been, let's say, less than pleased with some of her ideals.
Huh.
But if we can get somebody like that on our side, that could work, or at least help. Anyways, we'll bring it up in the next meeting, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, if we've got a direct contact to someone that is sympathetic to us on the inside, that really
Right.
could be
And
helpful.
someone close to her.
Yeah, I mean, you said he was a noble at the gala, right? Like, he was a guest there, so he had to have been important within the courts to be invited.
was just partly confused.
Just it would be nice to get a hold of him if possible, and if he has any feelings for you, that even better. Use those. But I don't know how to help you get through if the sending didn't work. If we assume it was interference from her tower, her palazzo, maybe he'll leave at some point.
I've been raiding too much. I went to go whisper Rose and I typed /CD10 just by fucking reflex. Fucking Christ. Oh man. Let's see.
Either way.
Can you roll me insight, Rose?
Yeah.
I need to see if something would come to Rose's mind.
Maybe.
Maybe.
8.
8. There's something familiar about the way he's describing the way sending has worked. Or hasn't worked. Like you've had this happen before a long time ago when they had you attempt. Well, no, actually, hold on. That wouldn't have. No, never mind. Sorry, I got characters mixed up.
And I lost it.
Yep.
All
But
right.
that's fair. That's fair. All right. Well, I mean, do we want to make sure everything's good in the camp and wait here another day? I mean, maybe Dad wakes up tonight, tomorrow morning, and then we can go back for the scouts tomorrow, or we go back to the camp today. I'm with you guys. And he kind of like stands up tall and puts his hands on both blades on his waist.
Okay.
That's
I-
to check.
Huh?
I'm of the mind of heading back to camp.
Right.
Kind of
I
like
was gonna
nods in a
Say the
like,
same.
oh, okay, but
Yeah.
that's fair.
Are you all right with that? It's not that I don't want to stay here and
No, I know. No, you were right. We got to keep going.
yeah.
So I'm with you. Till the end. Be
Hmm.
it tomorrow or 1,000
Well-
years from now.
That's a lot. How many is 1,000?
You're gonna
Like
be basically immortal once we're done with this war.
Maybe?
Immortal's not the right word. Endlessly living, but technically can still die. You know,
Right.
So like, I mean, if like afterwards you go to the material plane and you get your ass kicked really hard there, maybe it doesn't bring you back, but for the most part, yeah, effectively immortal. I'm pretty sure Dad's been around for over 3,000 years. So we're in
See?
for the long run.
See, 3,000 years and something like this, keeping him down, not likely. Right?
Absolutely.
But you can make fun of him afterwards that he got his ass kicked by some flowers.
I will.
But we should. Do you think Fed would be willing to check up on him every so often?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They seem like
no.
friends.
They've known each other a really long time, and he's always been you know, they say that there's two people that a man is closest to: his doctor and his bartender. And
Hopefully in
Ben was
different
kinda
ways. Oh,
I mean, we don't really get sick, so he just offered him a friendly ear, and either way,
life advice, medical advice.
any advice. Honestly, Fed just poured drinks, and Bastille did what he does. But yeah, we can stop by, just run that by him, and then we're good to go.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
As everyone is leaving and stepping out the door, and Rose will hang back for a second when they're the last one.
Thorn will kind of run ahead. He'll go ahead with Oni, because they're the two characters I'm playing, and I want them out of the scene.
Rose will go back for a minute and like step back over to his side.
Who?
It's Bastille.
Oh, okay. All right. So you head back up into into his room as everyone's gathering up front. You go upstairs and quietly open the door to his master chamber and kind of like close it, being respectful. Walk over next to his bed and you look down.
You better not be dead. God damn it. Please. Bastille, please wake up. You said you'd do anything I needed you to do, and this is not what I need you to do.
There's no change. It's without, putting your hand on his chest, it's hard to even tell he's breathing.
Damn it. I'm gonna try one last thing before I leave. I'm gonna try detect thoughts on him.
Okay. Roll me a charisma check. You open up your mind to the minds around you and you feel his mind, but it's like looking at an ember where normal people are like campfires. It's so dim. And as you focus in on that, you find no resistance. Whatever is here is pretty much accessible. And as you look close into that ember, you peer closer and closer, you see a different Bastille. Young, hardy, hale. His hair thick and black and running like the mane of a wolf. He is running through a field, and at his side is a young boy with brown hair, laughing and chasing after him. And that's it. This one moment of him and his son playing. That's all that's left in there. For now. But there is an ember, a spark.
Yeah. It's something. Fuck. Don't die. And they'll just leave and shut the door.
Okay. Head out. Wipe your face a little bit. Out the front door, and everyone's standing there waiting. Thorn looks at you. All good?
All right, teleport time.
Well, gotta go let Fed know first, and then teleport time.
Bed time first. Teleport
All
time.
right. The
Got
party quickly hustles through Sarnau, passing by the town square where you had once seen some hawkers and heard of a carnival, although far less lively and less populated now than it was 20 years ago. You walk into the the morning wood and see Fed behind the counter, and he kind of like looks over at you, and as his eyes hit Thorn's, he gives him just a nod. Thorn will walk over to him and kind of, there's just a 5 or so minutes of them talking and explaining what's going on. Fed nods. Thorn comes back. Yeah, he said he'll check up on him, frequently, make sure that he gets some water and, yeah.
All right. Good.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have any way of letting me know if he's going to be okay, but at least I know that someone's looking in on him. So we'll just check in with Fed, and Fed, you can just message Fed, and then
Yeah.
Fed can tell us if anything's up.
Yeah, I can talk to Fed. If I remember. I'll remember. Yep. All right,
Okay.
anything else?
I think I have everything I need. Kind of like pats himself. Armor, sword, keyblade, necklace. Yeah, that's everything.
Rose will look over their shoulder and turn to Ken.
What's up?
All good? Ready? Anything?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Are we good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to keep hearing you say it. Just for me, you know.
We're good.
Aerith, do you have that spell where you can have like a time message that repeatedly goes off?
Magic mouth.
Magic mouth.
No.
Magic mouth is stone for her that's like, you got this, you're doing good.
Oh, that would be, dude. That
Keep
would be the
going.
best thing. Like, I would love to have something like that. That would be great. You just rub a stone, and it's encouraging
Right?
words from someone that you care about. You're like, I do got this. I can't keep going. Gosh darn it, I am strong enough, and people do like me.
There you go,
Alright.
Ken. That's your next magic item you make.
The stone of encouragement.
Right. Hell yeah.
All right. You guys gather up for your teleport, heading back to the warfront, using the small stone that you have taken from the forward camp as your focus. Rose, you cast out the spell. Can you roll me a d20, please? Actually, charisma check. Sorry.
Charisma check. That.
Okay. As you cast the spell, you feel it begin to manifest. That kind of like, and as it happens, it's almost like a funnel is being created, like a wormhole, and then you punch to wherever you're going. And as you punch out, you feel it hit against something, like a jet of water against, almost like against like a glass dome, and then it goes through. And you manage to make the connection to the other side. What you emerge into
Why was
is
that
not
hard?
what you expect. The first thing that all of you sense. Hold on, let me change my music here for a second.
Also, do I need to roll a d100?
I already did.
Okay.
Skyrim battle music.
Let's see,
Okay.
where is my...
We get randomly teleported right in front of Titania. Hello.
Oh, here we go. Time to fight it.
Yeah, not that one, not that one.
Well, shit.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Everything's
No.
There
I love
is...
your optimism.
Is it this
good.
one?
Yeah.
No, something happened.
No.
Can
I don't know what
someone,
you're talking about.
yeah, can someone screen share real quick?
Yeah. Oh no, your computer died.
Oh no.
No.
I know we were reaching the.
Yeah, I can't screen share, but someone else needs to. Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't know. My
So,
internet's been
We're
off.
pretty much, Ken, we got right to like there are no more roll checks. This is where we're gonna leave off and pick up with this narrative beat because it's the perfect cliffhanger. I just need you
Okay.
guys to just As you emerge into this space, the first thing that catches your attention is the smell of smoke and blood in the air. It is choking and thick. You feel reality once again in around you, and you kind of take that deep breath, have to cough, and as you look around, you see decimated bodies, torn apart, and limbs strewn around. The bodies of the various peoples that you have seen milling about this camp. You snap to the right at the sound of a voice. I said, where are the children of the gods? Answer us, or I take your head, and you will never see it again.
Rose
And
will
then after-
immediately draw and run.
You draw.
Aerith does the same.
All right, we're armoring up.
And as
the-
everyone begins to rush into the combat, you hear a voice. Fuck you. I'll never tell you nothing, you jackass bastard!
No,
And
not
the
Caraway.
The dropping of a sword and the severing of a head as the last of her hit points were taken. And I'm going to move you guys onto the battle map, and that's where we're going to leave tonight's game.
Could I have shot an arrow to save her?
Oop, that's the wrong one. Fine.
Oh, my war camp.
You begin rushing in. Roll me an attack roll. It's coming into the moment, recognizing what's happening, drawing your weapon, drawing your arrow, aiming up the shot, taking the shot, all while he already has his blade out and drawn. It's unfortunate, but I don't think there's time.
I have alert.
I'll give you an attack roll at disadvantage, but you're aiming for his hand to knock the sword out before you can strike. Otherwise, he's still going to drop the blade. Okay? Okay.
Super focused shot.
Yeah, I gotta make sure I don't have any of my modifiers.
Yeah, because
They're
you're
gonna-
essentially like, you hear her voice and you reach for it, and in that instinctive, like, you're trying to just knock the sword away from his hand.
Yes. All right, I think that's all the modifiers. And you said disadvantage. Go!
Oh my god. 31. As you hear her curse him, you see that blade raise, and as it strikes down an arrow of pure water, ding, and into the sword, it goes into the ground about 2 feet away from him. And she looks over at the rest of you, and that's where we're going to pick up next game.
I wrestled that bear. I'm not gonna let it out.
That's my
Moving her back to the
bear.
token layer, I guess, instead of being on the map layer, because Caraway is actually alive.
That's my bear. You don't touch my
All
bear.
that hard work to wrestle her. I'm not letting her down now.
But yeah, I think that's good timing, seeing as Ken's computer just went down, and this is a
Right.
good place for Oni to pick up next week with us. But
Yeah.
yeah,
My war camp.
I know. I'm sorry.
You sound like
Our
me when we
ambush.
couldn't long rest.
My
Yeah.
trance.
I don't see Taz on the map. Is that good or bad?
Porque no
Uh,
lo ves?
I swear to God, if my
No.
sister fucking dies.
What if the green dragon's up in the air and she's fighting it? Oh, wait,
As long
I
as
just
she's
did
alive.
yours.
Yeah, I mean, then she still got a shot.
I will say, in this moment, because I did mean for it to be added in narratively, you do hear 2 sets of wing beats above you.
Okay.
Okay.
And hear this kind of like
Mhm.
screaming roar, as well as the that you have come accustomed to know as Tasmakella.
I mean, and it's not
Okay.
like they got the entire ward camp. Like, because this is the forward one, right?
This is the forward encampment. You found the forward encampment's actually pretty big. When you initially came out here, you came out to like an edge and came in through. You were led in through by Taz to the Seeker's tent, which is what this is. This is kind of like this is their HQ.
Yeah, it's pretty much the whole camp.
Yeah, I mean, people could have got away. I mean, there's going to be a few people got away. I mean, you got one. We say to get away
You
Yeah.
did. That I wasn't expecting.
for now.
Everybody just like, I draw weapons and go, and it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
See,
But
you
they're
got a
looking for
bear.
the children. They're looking for the children of the gods. I was like, oh, boy.
Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about.
Nope. I'd say the only three people that recognize that are Oni, Aerith, and Ken, because Rose, they never told you that that's what they were referred to as.
I don't think so.
No.
No.
It was
Not
Titania
yet.
put a bounty out immediately afterwards, like, where are the children of the god?
Why she would
I
have
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
Well, I'm glad we were able to get some
It's
RP
like
in.
the worst slash most hilarious timing that my computer died on me.
Yeah.
Right I mean, at least it was right at the end.
Right. It was really good. I was going to ask for one last perception check to see what everyone could see, and then when your computer was dead, I was like, nah, I'll just give you guys. You deserve to know what's going on.
Yeah.
You see awful things. Terrible.
Awful things.
I mean, yeah. How many are there?
There are 5 of them that are up. 2 of them that look like they were already killed during the battle. The ones that aren't like these ones or this one, all the other ones like this guy, they're all. It's like somebody set a bomb off in front of them or killed them and then chopped each arm into 3 pieces, each leg into 3 pieces, and then just started throwing body parts in every direction.
Jesus.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what you do with people who can
Regenerate.
come back to life.
Yep. It is.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
It is a
I'm telling you
disgusting
guys, extra
battlefield.
hard.
so is that like a permanent death then, or is it like makes it take extra long then?
It just takes extra long.
Gotcha.
They don't really have permanent death given enough time, but
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, I'm fucking
Well, that
these
means
guys
no
up.
one technically died. So your war camp's still there. Just might be a few years.
it just might be a few years.
You gotta look at the positive.
It's fair. It's fair.
Although not all of them, I don't think, are changelings.
They are like that though.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I'll say.
Changelings are a very, very small subpopulation of
Yeah.
Fae, and all Fae within the Feywild are that way.
Okay.
Because you had the
Right.
Winter
Yeah.
Guard that you were with you is the one that got chonked in half by a T-Rex, and then Arboreus Rex. Sorry, not T-Rex. A-Rex. Or
A-Rex.
No, it's Tyrannosaurus Arboreus. That's what it was.
TA.
EA. Tits and ass.
Yeah.
How
So
did they know? Or how did they sneak up on us? There's a traitor in the myth.
I mean, we already
Someone
knew that,
sus.
but that's why we've locked him down.
Alright, we gotta play Among Us.
Who let Gale out?
Hmm.
Gotta play Among Us. If I end up becoming the imposter in Among Us, I will know immediately. There's no ifs, ands, or
That'd be an interesting thing. D&D Among Us. One of you have a group of people, and one of them is like trying to kill everyone, and you have to role play.
That would be interesting.
It'd be like a one-shot kind of thing.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting one shot then.
I think it would be like that since Rose did the teleport, and that kind of that lets you guys deploy in a nice.
H.
I mean, it's not the worst situation we've been in.
Pretty bad.
You gotta look at the positive.
What positive?
Uh-huh.
The positive is we saved the Care Bear.
I'm just so glad that all I had to do was her accent and you knew who it was. It was so I was so happy. I was so happy.
Not the bear.
Not the
No.
bear. Oh man.
She owes me a beer after this.
Yeah. Definitely will buy you a beer after that.
Or more.
All right, Coro, you have a new mother. meet this 12-foot.
She's a bear.
It's like, I see. Well, that is,
Whatever you're into, Dad.
I guess.
Takashi a furry?
Only if you
I'm
fuck her
pretty
in
sure
bear
she
form.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure she has a more humanoid form that they
She
turn
does.
into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
She
but
hasn't
that
shown it
still
yet.
doesn't answer my question. We all know in Baldur's Gate 3, people have chosen Bear
Yeah.
Wilson.
If
I mean-
if you fuck the bear in bear form, then yes. If you fuck the man in not bear form, then I don't.
Let's go with
It's
not
little
bear
Let's
form.
go with not bear form.
Weak.
You're welcome to try and find a different bear to fuck. You tell me how that goes.
Oh, also, Rose,
It was
can you
great.
roll me a d6?
Yes.
For the
Trace.
next minute, you are frightened of Aerith.
Oh, good.
What did you do, Aerith?
As you
I don't
see
I don't know, but I kind of like it.
It's not
the
helpful
battle
for the
unfolding.
battle. You're in front of me.
Immediately scared of your
So
friends.
unfortunate.
Sounds like a you problem.
Oh, man. And you're right in front of her,
Yeah,
so she can't even run towards them to hit him.
exactly. It's not a me problem, it's an us problem.
We could
Aerith, what did
we
you
could do
do?
this if you want. If you want.
There you go.
I'm still gonna
Shunt
end up
Aerith
in
over
front
there.
of her.
Also, Ken, I'm gonna hit your long rest button because it doesn't look like it got hit.
It depends on who goes first in the
Oh,
initiative.
it got hit. It's just
Yeah.
not uploading on the token. Okay. Fixing your token.
We
That's the wrong token.
can. That's fine.
It's kind of let's say it looks like he has bunny ears all of a sudden.
That was the one where he had the horns on his helmet.
Ah,
It was
gotcha.
so he's had a few different tokens, and apparently his character sheet still has that one added to it. There we go. That's fixed.
There's our boy. Aerith, what did you do?
Right? What did you do? Why are you
So
scared?
strikingly frightening.
No.
No.
Nah.
That doesn't sound right.
I'm fierce.
Oni, I get it. Ken, I get it. He's giant. Robert, I get it. Like, those make sense. Sparkly short person. Not really getting the scared vibe. A slightly sparkly person, not really getting the fear vibe.
It's really weird, right?
I mean, even Rose
Yeah.
might have the scare vibe just because, like, she has that scarred hand. She has like that rough and tough vibe now.
Yeah. Now it's
Right.
all the whole right arm is like it's like a weave of thorns with little rose flowers growing here and there over where the wounds were.
Yeah, see, that's scary. You're sparkly.
I'm fierce. I'm fierce. That was actually
Go
the start of a song from Disney, by the way.
I'm gonna put not
So
unconscious.
scary.
It was a villain song too.
Are you the villain now, Aerith? Is that what you're saying?
And in Rose's eyes, apparently I am.
Apparently.
Very tempted to know why.
You want to know above table?
I'm curious. Like, what the
Kind
fuck
of, yeah.
happened?
I know.
I know Gina knows. That's why I'm willing to tell you guys.
Did Rose step in Aerith's like projection thingamabob?
Every time you guys have been casting 7th or higher level magic, I roll the wild magic table.
Oh.
We fucked magic up a little bit.
It's fucked magic up a little bit.
I don't have that problem.
Nope. Nope. It's pretty much just a Rose problem at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the
Somebody
only
else
one that
has
can cast
7th
7th
level.
level.
Oh, that's great. Nick left at the right time.
Yep. Yep. Oh boy.
Yeah, my highest is 6, so I'm safe.
Nope. When you
For
cast
now.
teleport, I rolled a 68, which is you are frightened by the
68.
nearest creature until the end of your next turn. Oh, it's just the next turn. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
Okay.
cool.
I'm glad I reread that because that's
Okay.
That would have been awkward.
That's a lot better.
Right. A minute is rough.
Yeah, a minute's rough, but it's just for one round.
That's not
Okay.
too bad. Otherwise, Aerith, you would have had to go away for a little bit.
In fact,
Just banish
since that's the
Aerith.
case, I'm just gonna put Aerith back.
Ándale,
Put him.
ándale.
Yeah.
Ah, dang it.
Me and Nicholas and Stir need to hurry up and get that shit fixed.
They're
I
working.
Hit it
mean,
with the
they're-
hammer.
It's been
They're-
like 2 days.
Get the mallet, hit it until it works.
Ken, if I
They're
need to
keeping
be
it
away
from entirely unrolling.
If I need to like be hidden from a distance, you and I are gonna have to turn my gun into a sniper rifle.
You could turn Aerith invisible, and then you no longer have to be scared of him, 'cause you can't see him.
Go away.
Vanish from my sight.
That would ironically work because I think it's when a creature when the
You can see
you
him.
can
You can
see him,
see,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Or if I just
Fucking
close
funny
my
would that be?
eyes.
You get scared by a dragon and just have like the wizard of the
You're
party make the dragon invisible.
That's almost more terrifying. It's like, oh shit, now we
Right.
can't see it. Where is it?
Oh, it's
Well, the source
gone.
of its fear is within line of sight.
Yeah.
But if you
Oh.
can't see in your line of sight,
I mean, so
That
that's
rem-
that's actually a legitimate strategy that people use when fighting things that cause fear. Is they'll be like, I close my eyes
Shut
and
your eyes,
take
yeah.
disadvantage on the attack roll in order to not have the disadvantage from the fear.
Right.
But sometimes if you have like blind fighting, you can close your eyes and you don't have disadvantage on that.
oh,
Reminds me of this Dungeons and Dragon comment I saw where it's like really cartoony, and they're like running from spiders because they're scared of spiders, so they're just tossing random potions at it. And the spiders suddenly disappear. It's like, oh, you killed them. What potion did you throw? And they pick up the
Potion of
bottle,
invisibility.
potion of invisibility.
Yeah, no.
And they're all just like their faces turned to horror.
Oh no.
No.
I'm gonna see if I can find that.